So today we are talking about some healthy snacks. Some of them actually could be used for an easy meal, whether it's an afternoon, lunch, early dinner, brunch. So we're going to do, I think, 3 or 4 recipes. I have a lot of stuff in front of me, so I don't remember all of it. If I look like I'm out of it, I might be. But anyway, so today we're going to talk about a few different things, and I'm going to try to talk about the health benefits of each of the things. So already I have some, and I apologize for the noise of the refrigerator. I have some baguette slices, and this is a really simple thing to do. I learned this from my great aunt Gladys. And you take some horseradish, and you mix it in with mayonnaise, and you can make it as hot as you like, or not hot. Oh, and by the way, as we're going, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. So what I did was I mixed a little bit of horseradish with mayonnaise. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a fairly generous amount on the baguettes. Real quick, I have mayonnaise and I mixed it with some prepared horseradish just in a bowl. You can make it as hot as you like, and I'm spreading it on the baguette slices. Then I'm going to top it with a couple of slices of cheese, if I can find the cheese. And then what you do is you put it in the oven, and the cheese melts. So this is a nice little snack size bite, but you could do it with a regular piece of Italian bread or rye bread. I have sliced Gouda today, but you can do cheddar, which is a really nice thing with the horseradish. So I'm just going to lay some of that on there. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to put my glasses on. And we're going to talk about the benefits of eating horseradish. I don't know if everybody likes it. I know that as we age, our taste buds kind of die back a little bit. So sometimes it's nice to have food that has a little bit of a kick to it. Horseradish is naturally antibacterial. It boosts circulation. It helps to clear mucus. And for someone like me with sinus issues, it's helpful. It can help with weight loss because it speeds up your metabolism. It supports immunity. It is something that has anti-cancer properties, and it has, for the weight of the amount that you would use, it has nutrients galore in just a little bit. So it actually is a very good food. And especially as we age and have those dietary issues and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I'm putting it on my little baguette slices, and I don't know if we were on mute when I said that you could use a regular slice of rye and make it a sandwich for your lunch rather than a snack. But since this is a snack class, we're going to talk about things that are a little smaller in scope. So I'm going to do that. Do a couple more pieces. You guys are quiet today.
People can unmute if they'd like. You all can talk. If we end up having feedback, we'll let you know, but feel free to join.
Feel free to chat. I'm getting a pan. So I have a big sheet pan because we're going to use it for a couple of things today. So I'm going to stick this in the oven so that the cheese melts. And it might be messy, but messy things often taste best. So let's see how this goes. I'm going to step over to the oven, which I think you might see. Okay. And now, last time we were here, which was a few weeks ago, I said, remind me about the oven. So in a few minutes, somebody remind me about the oven. So the next thing I'm going to do, because this next recipe has a couple of steps. Oh, thank goodness the thing turned off, the refrigerator. We are going to toast nuts. And I think we talked about it in the last class, but now I'm actually going to do it. You want a dry pan, so no oil, nothing. You're going to put your nuts in. We're using pecans today. And I'm just going to put it on the heat. And the trick to this, as you're toasting, is that you're going to start to smell nuts. And you'll look at them and you can see that they're starting to release the oil from within the nut. And that's when you know they're getting toasted. If you leave them on the heat too long, they're going to get, well, way too long and they'll be burned. But sometimes they get just a little bit too dark and it will affect the flavor, so you want to keep your eye on that. The other ingredient, we're using goat cheese with this recipe and fig spread. So let me get a pair of scissors, which are here. Now this is a nice snack, and if you don't eat it all, you can refrigerate it and then warm it later or eat it cold later. It's also nice for when we get back into seeing other people. This is something nice to share because it is a little bit more than a little bit. And I'm using a regular goat cheese. This recipe, when I give it to you, will say that you can freeze the goat cheese because it helps you to slice it evenly. You can also use a hot knife, so that works too. I hear somebody chatting. All right. No smell yet. So we're going to put that back. I'm going to put this in a little pan. It'd be nicer if I had a little casserole dish, but I don't have one with me today. And I am going to just spray a little bit of non-stick stuff. Sorry, I stepped away from the camera. So I'm going to use this and slice them about that thick, about a ½ inch. And like I said, I just went to myself on the screen here.
Do you like that, Cindy? That is making you bigger for everybody to really be able to see you.
Okay. I did not know that.
I think I can switch it back.
I know I can from in here.
Yeah. It's definitely nicer for the participants because you're filling up the screen.
Well, there you go.
Yay!
Sorry, folks. So I'm putting this in half the pan because, like I said, the pan is a little too big. Let me shake the nuts. Just starting to smell them, and they're not glistening at all yet, so we know that the oil's not coming out quite yet. So what we're going to do is I laid it out so that it's kind of close to each other, the pieces. Let me check this one. Not quite. We're going to fill it in with this fig spread. You can buy fig jam, spread, whatever, in the jelly section. I actually got this at the Giant, and I'm going to lay this kind of around the pieces so that it surrounds them. And then, not quite done, yeah, it's starting to smell like toasted nuts. So we're going to put this like this. And this you would want to serve with either your leftover little baguette slices or you can use crackers. And this is also going to go into the oven. So that's our fig spread. And we are going to use fresh thyme. Now, we've talked about fresh herbs before. You don't hold them from the bottom and do that because it's like closing an umbrella. You want to hold it this way and pull down because everything comes off the stem. So that's the easiest way to get your little leaves off. You just pull down and see how that stem is empty now. And then I'm going to do the little individual ones. Let me just toss these again. Yeah, now it's starting to go. I'm going to turn the heat down on these, but not quite off. Let me get a clean knife. I'm using the big knife now, sorry. But we're going to chop this up just a little bit. And then this is going to get scattered once we have the nuts in there. We need a little bit more of this. Again, pulling it. All right. Does anybody who's here today that was here the last time, do you remember what we were talking about with the dry herbs compared to the fresh herbs? The difference in the amounts? Yes, no? What's that? Yeah. If you're using fresh, you use, let's say you're using a teaspoon of fresh. If you're using dried, you're going to use a half a teaspoon because it's a more concentrated flavor. You're also going to want to, with the dried, put it in between the palms of your hand and crush it a little bit because it'll release the flavor back out. Okay, so I'm going to take a little spoon, and there's the nuts. You can't smell them, sorry. And I'm going to sprinkle these over the fig jam.
Do you want to check your oven?
Say it again.
You want to check your oven? It's time to check your oven.
Oh, thank you. Who was that? Perfect timing. Perfect timing, Damien. Okay. Can we see that, or is the lighting not good? Let me pick.
Delicious.
Cheesy, drippy, yummy stuff. Let me put it on a plate. I'll pick that up again for this camera. All right. And like I said, if anybody's in the neighborhood, you're always welcome. Stop by and give it a taste. You can really smell the horseradish too. I'm going to put them on there. Okay. Youch. That's a hot one. Okay.
Dangerous in the kitchen.
What's that?
Dangerous in the kitchen.
Yes, it can be. It definitely can be. All right. So, and then if you wanted to, you do have your horseradish under the cheese, but if you wanted to, you could put a little bowl of mustard in the center, and I might go with something that's a little sweet, like a sweet honey mustard by Engelhofer is a good one, because that way it counterbalances the heat of the horseradish. So that's that one. And now I just have to do 2 more spoonfuls of our, our figs. And can you see that? So the cheese is sliced. That's the white part. Then the fig and the pecans over the top. I have a few of the pecans. And now I'm going to take this thyme and just sprinkle it over. And I'm going to stick this in the oven. Okay, let me just look at this for a second. All right, now, so I'm gonna let the stove rest for a minute. And we're gonna talk about hummus. Who knows what hummus is made from? Chickpeas. What else? Sesame seed paste. So now I purchased this one, and it's a roasted red pepper hummus. So it's got the other stuff in it, but then they add roasted red peppers and blend it. I don't know if you can see the color, and then they put a little garnish in the middle. It's very good. But what we're gonna do with this is we're gonna make our own pita chips. So, and the pita chips you could eat with anything, but I just happen to have hummus. So I thought we would do that. So this is how pitas come. And we are going to get our sheet pan again. And I'm just going to set it there. I am going to get rid of this and wipe the board. So is everybody going to run out to the grocery store and get all the ingredients?
Yes.
Good. Make something and let me know how you enjoyed it. I'm going to check the oven real quick. Goat cheese is a very soft cheese, so it's not going to take long for that to melt. So we want to check it.
Cindie, was that a flatbread that you had there?
Was it a what?
What do you call that? Is that a pita or is it a flatbread?
No, flatbread is a little different, but I mean they're similar, more so than like a tortilla would be. But this is actually a white pita that comes like that. And it's in your bread section at the grocery store. And what we're gonna do with this is, I'm just randomly throwing trash into the sink. We're gonna cut it. And what I typically do is cut it in half and then cut each half into thirds. And don't worry if they're not completely equal. So you have pieces like that. You can break them in half so that you don't have the double thickness, but I'm okay with it like this. Well, we'll do one just to show it. And I'll tell you what Julia Child used to say. You're the only one in the kitchen, so you can do it however you want to do it. So you can go like that and cut them in half. So I'm going to lay them on my cookie sheet. And what we're going to do is bake these. And it's really so easy. If you were doing it with tortilla chips, you'd want to fry them, and then that would make crispy chips. But this is nice just to bake these. The nice thing with using a pita is you can freeze it, and then that way they're in your freezer if you decide you want to have this. Like I said, you don't have to eat this with hummus, but pita and hummus are both Mediterranean type foods. So. All right, then what I'm going to do is check the goat cheese. And I'm going to show you real quick, and then I'm going to stick it back. It's starting to bubble, the actual fig jam. So we'll put that, and it smells really good. Okay.
Temperature of your oven.
It's at 350 because as long as you're not baking a cake, 350 is pretty safe for just about everything. So that's where I keep it, and I go from there. Okay, I have a piece of thyme floating in my oil. You can use any kind of oil. This is a blended oil. At home I use avocado oil, and because avocados are one of those fats that are good for you. And we're going to talk about the tahini and everything as far as fats and the chickpeas in just a second, but I want to get these done. So I'm just taking a paintbrush, and you can buy this kind of paintbrush, the natural bristle, at the store, and use it for your food, as long as you're not using it for paint as well. So I'm just brushing them with oil, and then I'm going to take coarse salt and pepper and sprinkle them. I have a couple more. So, and I don't remember what the next class is about. Anybody?
I've got it right here. So Friday, May 28th, picnic treats for Memorial Day.
Which kind of treats?
Picnic.
Oh, good. Yeah, because I had something that I thought about doing for today, and I thought, oh no, that's more summery, and I thought, oh, I'll do that for the next one. So, okay, good. And then what's June?
June is
Dairy month.
on the 18th, June 18th. These cooking classes are always Fridays.
Correct.
And it's recipes for National Dairy Month. You wrote thick, cheesy, creamy, and yummy.
Yummy. Okay, good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we have our salt and pepper on our crisps, and now I'm going to stick these in the oven, and I'm going to pull that cheese out. And it's hard to tell looking at it from here, but the cheese is melting on the bottom. It's still a little firm on the top, but you don't want it to melt so much that it goes into the nuts and the fig stuff, because then you're kind of, number one, it's not going to look as nice, and number two, you're not going to get that little pop of the cheese. So I'm just going to reach in here with a fork and spread that cheese, and then some fig and some nuts. And then if you were going to, I don't know if the lighting is not good, but me looking at this, all I see is like shades of white. So I don't know if you can see that. But if you were going to display these on a plate, you could take your sprig of thyme and, put it next to it. If you really wanted to be fancy, you could take a sprig, and let me get a better sprig than that. And stick it so that you have a couple pieces like that. But then the person eating it is going to have to pick it out. So I'm all for function, but we do eat with our eyes first. So you do want to make it attractive, but not difficult to eat. So this is for all you people that are going to be entertaining like mad when the world opens back up. So anyway, that's that. And while our crisps are crisping, let's talk about the benefits of the ingredients in hummus. So I need my glasses. So, somebody said chickpeas. Chickpeas are also known as garbanzo beans. Does anybody know what the best attribute is of garbanzo beans?
Complete protein, isn't it?
It is. It is extremely high in protein. It is a very rich source of vitamins, minerals, and fiber. So as we age, we also have to think about that. It can help lower your cholesterol, which can also be an issue as we age. It improves digestion. And then when you mix it with tahini, the thing with, if you make hummus on your own, tahini can be expensive to purchase, and you don't need a lot to make a bowl of hummus. So you either have to really like it or find a lot of different recipes that you can use it in, or it goes to waste. The liquid will separate a little bit. I don't know if you can see that at the top. But it's fine. You just want to stir it up before you would take any out of the bottle. Tahini, as we said, is made from ground sesame seeds. Now, I know, too, that some people, as we get older, cannot eat seeds. But this is all right because it's already ground up, so it's not going to give you any kind of digestive issue. Full of very healthy fats, just like an avocado is one of the better fats. It also has a lot of vitamins and minerals in it. It's rich in antioxidants. It contains a lot of anti-inflammatory compounds, and it helps to protect the liver and kidney functions. So, one of the superfoods. So you can put that on your list. Let me check the chips. Almost. About a half a minute. So I need somebody to taste these things here. I have all this food back here and nobody's in here with me. So we're going to taste it when the cameras go off. So anyway, the next thing we're going to make after the chips come out is something that I went to get pitas today. I went yesterday and couldn't find anywhere I went, so I went today. And I saw these beautiful mushrooms, and I thought, I'm going to do something with those. So that's going to be our next thing as soon as I pull these out. Okay. And I'm going to get another plate. And these are hot, but they're also very crispy. And as soon as I get them on the plate, I'm going to show you how crispy. Can you hear them hitting it? And I did end up cutting them in half, all of them. My favorite hummus to make is pumpkin hummus. But I usually only do that in the fall, and I make it with, you could use fresh pumpkin, but I use canned pumpkin, and then you take pumpkin seeds and you toast them like we did the pecans. It is just out of this world with these chips. I mean, I've eaten half a bowl by myself. So this is how crunchy. Let me find a good one. You can't hear it. Hold on. Oh, that actually shot.